all this stuff you're doing, constantly innovating, decide to just make a flamethrower? Where do you have the time for that?
Well, we didn't put a lot of time into the flamethrower. This was an off-the-cuff thing, and so I have sort of like, it's sort of a hobby company called The Boring Company, which started out as a joke, and we decided to make it real, and dig a tunnel under LA, and then other people asked us to dig tunnels, and so we said yes in a few cases. And then we have a merchandise section that only has one piece of merchandise at a time. And we started off with a cap, and there was only one thing on. It was just boringcompany.com/cap or hat. That's it. And then we sold the hats, limited edition. It just said The Boring Company. And then I'm a big fan of Spaceballs, the movie. And in Spaceballs, Yogurt goes through the merchandising section, and they have a flamethrower in the merchandising section of Spaceballs. And the kids love that one. That's the line. When he pulls out the flamethrower, it's like, we should do a flamethrower. So we...
Does anybody tell you no? Does anybody go, Elon, maybe for yourself, but selling a flamethrower, the liabilities, all the people you're selling this device to, what kind of unhinged people are going to be buying a flamethrower in the first place? Do we really want to connect ourselves to all these potential arsonists?
Yeah, it's a terrible idea. Terrible. Shouldn't buy one. I said, don't buy this flamethrower. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. That's what I said. But still, people bought it.
Yeah,
there's nothing I could do to stop them.
If you build it, they will come.
I said, don't buy it. It's a bad idea.
How many did you make?
It's dangerous. It's wrong. Don't buy it. And still, people bought it. I just couldn't stop them.
How many did you make?
20,000.
And they're all gone.
In 4 days. But it sold out in 4 days.
Are you going to do another run?
No.
No, that's it.
Yes.
Oh.
I said we would do 20. We did 50,000 hats. That was $1 million. And we thought, okay, we'll sell something and for $10 million, and that was 20,000 flamethrowers at $500 each. They went fast.
Yeah, how do you have the time? How do you have the time to do that, though? I mean, I understand that it's not a big deal in terms of all the other things that you do, but how do you have time to do anything? I don't understand your time management skills.
I mean, I didn't spend much time on this flamethrower. I mean, to be totally frank, it's actually just a roofing torch with an air rifle cover. It's not a real flamethrower.
Which is why it says not a flamethrower.
That's why we were very clear. This is not actually a flamethrower. And also we were told that various countries would ban shipping of it, but they would ban flamethrowers. So to solve this problem for all the customs agencies, we labeled it not a flamethrower.
Did it work? Is it effective?
I don't know. I think so. Yes.
So far.
Yes.
Now, but you do.
Because they said you cannot strip a flamethrower.
But you do so many different things. Forget about the flamethrower. Like, how do you do all that other shit? Like, how does one decide to fix LA traffic by drilling holes in the ground? And who do you even approach with that? Like, when you have this idea, who do you talk to about that?
I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be successful or sort of, I know it's just like asserting that it's going to be successful. But so far, I've lived in LA for 16 years, and the traffic has always been terrible. And so I don't see any other ideas for improving the traffic. So in desperation, we're going to dig a tunnel, and maybe that tunnel will be successful, and maybe it won't.
I'm listening.
Yeah. I'm not trying to convince you it's going to work.
And are the people
or anyone.
But you were starting this, though. This is actually a project you're starting to implement, right?
Yeah, no, we've dug about a mile. It's quite long. It takes a long time to walk it.
Yeah. Now, when you're doing this, what is the ultimate plan? The ultimate plan is to have these in major cities and anywhere there's mass congestion, and just try it out in LA first.
Yeah, it's in LA because I mostly live in LA. That's the reason. It's a terrible place to dig tunnels. This is one of the worst places to dig tunnels because there's mostly because of the paperwork. People think it's like, what about seismic? It's like, actually, tunnels are very safe in earthquakes.
Why is that?
Earthquakes are essentially a surface phenomenon. It's like waves on the ocean. So if there's a storm, you want to be in a submarine. So being in a tunnel is like being in a submarine. Now the way the tunnel is constructed is it's constructed out of these interlocking segments, kind of like a snake. It's sort of like a snake exoskeleton with double seals, and so even when the ground moves, the tunnel actually is able to shift along with the ground, like an underground snake, and it doesn't crack or break, and it's extremely unlikely that both seals would be broken, and it's capable of taking 5 atmospheres of pressure. It's waterproof, methane-proof, gas-proof of any kind, and meets all California seismic requirements.
So when you have this idea, who do you bring this to?
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Well, when you're implementing it, so you're digging holes in the ground. Like
Yes.
You have to bring it to someone that lets you do it.
Yeah, so there were some engineers from SpaceX who thought it would be cool to do this, and the guy who runs it like day to day, Steve Davis. He's a longtime SpaceX engineer. He's great. So Steve was like, "I'd like to help make this happen." I was like, "Cool." So we started off with digging a hole in the ground. It's got like a permit for a pit, big pit, and just dug a big pit.
And do you have to tell them what the pit's for, or you just say, "Hey, we just want to dig a hole"?
Nice, fill out this form.
That's it.
Yeah, it was a pit in our parking lot.
But do you have to give them some sort of a blueprint for your ultimate idea? And do they have to approve it? Like, how does that work?
No, we just started off with a pit,
Okay.
big pit, and it's not really, they don't really care about the existential nature of a pit. You just say like, "I don't want a pit,"
Right.
and it's a hole in the ground. So then we got the permit for the pit, and we dug the pit, and we dug it in like, I don't know, 3 days, 2-3 days. Actually, I think 48 hours, something like that. Because Eric Garcetti was coming by for he was going to attend the Hyperloop competition, which is like a student competition we have for who can make the fastest pod in the Hyperloop. And he was coming. The finals were going to be on Sunday afternoon, and so Eric was coming by on Sunday afternoon. He was like, we should dig this pit and then like show Eric. This was like Friday morning.